All right. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining me. This is a fixed class because of the meeting that held yesterday with TEFEM management. I hope we had a good time.
Yes, sir.
Great. All right, great. So, um, hopefully, by God's grace, we should round off with Power BI. This week, I'm seeing how I'm looking at the possibility of having another class tomorrow, and then we could see how we can wrap up before weekend runs out, and then we kick off with my SQL, which is a structured query language. All right. I believe you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just let's kick off from where we stopped. By now, you should have the data set already. How many of us have attempted what I was trying to do last week? Any person? Okay, so I'll suggest you can follow along if you have the data set already, so that um, it could be easier for you. At least then you can have a second time to try again. So it's a all right. Okay, I hope we fix that soon, Mary Jane. Sorry about that. So, like I said, it's a guided project we work on, and I just want to um, put a lot of things in there that will enable us appreciate all we've been doing. All right. So it's just simple hands-on experience we do, and I just want to walk us through. So the first thing is the data set. You upload the data set to your Power BI desktop and you begin with the data modeling. Like I mentioned earlier on, the data is already clean, so it doesn't need um, too much of formatting. Probably if you just want to change column names and like. So this is where we stopped, all right, in last class, and I'm going to go over to my transform data, all right, to continue from where we stopped. If you can see, I already started naming the products, the tables rather, all right. So I have some of them unnamed. Okay, okay, go ahead, Esther.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Okay, so I have a question. Like, when it comes to Power BI, because one thing about me is I'm not really quite good at technical stuff, like all this coding. It takes time before I grasp it. I think I have to take like months for me to be able to understand these DAX. So, and I feel like DAX is more like the way, let's say, you want to use it and feel like make a data more better and like more detailed. Like you want to like enhance the data. That's one of the importance of all this data modeling or DAX or something like that. Sometimes like can we like let's say if you have a data you don't really know understand DAX to a point, like the data analysis expression, you don't understand it to a point. Like can we use Excel to like enhance this data and then we can then transfer, like we can use Excel to like make our do our work, like say any technical work, then we can transfer it to like say Power BI for a better visualization. I don't know, is it okay or is it necessarily we must use DAX for anything like any technical cleaning or something?
All right. So a good question. Let me see how I can answer that very well. So, were you in the very onboarding session that Mr. Daniel anchored,
Yes, I was. I was.
where he walked us through a slide?
The Power BI, right?
No, the very first call we
Yes,
had,
yes, yes,
unlocking
I
unlocking
was.
insights.
Yes, I was, sir.
All right. So if you can recall, the recording is there. If you can recall from what he mentioned, he said he mentioned something. He kind of drew the difference between what Excel can do, what Power BI can do, and what SQL can do. Can you um, can you give an understanding of what you know these three tools to do, just briefly in some seconds? Do you understand what these three tools?
Okay. Okay. He said something about Excel. Excel, you can practically use Excel for like a lot of things like visualization and calculations and all of that. But Power BI is more, should I even say, faster and more enhanced, whereby you can do something quickly and wrap it up, like something that can take time in. I don't know if I'm right, though. But something that can take time in Excel, you can use lesser time in Power BI. Why SQL is not for visualization? It's just for bringing out data, for bringing out a particular set of data from somewhere or something like that. I don't know if I'm right.
Okay. All right. So let me see how I can answer in a couple of minutes. So basically, Excel, right, it's a data analysis tool, and it has its strengths and you know uniqueness in comparison to other tools. All right. So Excel is a standalone tool. What I mean is that it's more like a jack of all trade, but there's no really area of specialization. All right. So it allows you to carry out analysis, statistical analysis too. You can clean data. Most data analysts I've seen, they prefer cleaning the data with Excel. So on the other hand, compared to Power BI is a core visualization tool. All right. That's what it's built for. And it has enhanced capabilities to slice and intersect your data to a very detailed level to draw insights. It has those functionalities. All right. So the difference between Power BI and Excel is that whilst Power BI is a visualization tool, it has data analysis expressions, which is DAX, that can help you drive out or draw out meaning from your data set. Okay, using calculated measures, columns, and um, visualizations. On the other hand, you can use Power BI to clean your data. Okay, just that it's not built for it. You can also use SQL, structured query language, to clean your data. All right, just that it's still not built for it. You can do it, but that's not its strength. You see machine learning, Python, you see R. These are statistical tools for research. They perform statistical analysis. That is their strength. All right. So um, you can, to answer your question, you can carry out analysis with Excel, just that it has limitations. What DAX will give you, Excel will not give you. All right. So most people work with, you can, with just Excel and Power BI alone, you can carry out data analysis. All right. So it's with time you get to understand this. It's with time. All right. So just for you to understand is that know the difference between these three tools: SQL, structured query language for database management, and then to carry out analysis. Most times you can carry out analysis with just Excel, from data cleaning to analysis and visualization. Power BI, the same thing, right? But if you want enhanced analysis visualizations, that's where you now rely on the strength of these tools. So to answer your question, which I hope it does, Power BI is a visualization tool. However, you can you can draw insights from your data using data analysis expression. It's not just for calculations alone. And hopefully in this project, you just get to understand some of these things. Okay.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. All right, so let's proceed with the next things we're doing. So I'm going to my transform data. Okay. All right, so I was on my facts table, right? And remembered from the explanation I gave, the fact table contains metrics, contains numeric data, right? So where we left off from was that we were trying to create dimension tables, right? And remember, I mentioned dimension tables, they help you describe your data, all right? So you can go back to the previous video and just pick up from where I stopped. So I think I'm done with the facts table. Product table, refresh this. We can see our products. We have just 6 categories of product, or they're not into categories anyway. Men's street footwear, men's athletic footwear, women's street footwear, women's athletic footwear, men's apparel, and women's apparel. All right, so these are 6 unique products. And then I created a primary key linking them to the foreign key in the facts table. All right, I showed you how to do that. So I'm on my retailer table. This preview may be up to 4 days old. I refresh. I've not opened this file since the last class. Okay, so yeah, we are here. And if you look at the structure of the data, this is our fact table. We have to carry out data profiling to understand how to break your table into different tables. Okay, so now, first of all, remember this data set is it's a sales data set by Adidas. All right, so you look at Jumia, for example, you look at Amazon. So these are companies, right? There's a word I'm trying to use for them. E-commerce companies, all right? And they have different outlets in the sense that Jumia does not produce a product, all right? They have retailers. So if you order something, all right, that's why they can tell you wait for 7 days, right, to get this your product, because a different company might be selling to them. All right, so they are just the face that we are seeing. Jumia is the face we are seeing, but they are different marketers. They are the marketers rather. They are different retailers that are selling to them. So Adidas in this case is the face, the e-commerce, the marketing company. All right. So the retailers are these Foot Locker. We have Foot Locker. We have West Dia. You can see we have Walmart. Walmart is a well-known, company. So we have Walmart that are the retailers in this company. All right. So just a walk through to the data sets. We have these calls. What do we have again? We have Foot Locker. All right. So we understand the data set and understand the problem that they're trying to solve. So in this case, when you understand the data set, it can now tell you how to break your tables. All right. Instead of having one flat normalized table, when you break it into the normalized table, it reduces data redundancy. It helps you put your data into categories. All right, so that's what your fact table, how it differentiates from your descriptive tables, which are, what's these tables again? I'm always forgetting them. Well, I think you know them, the fact table and the dimension table. All right, the dimension table. So this retailer, they each have their ID. All right, but one thing with this data set is that I've gone through the data set, and these IDs are not really unique. They're not unique, so it might cause some problems. All right. So I'm not going, in this case, I'm not going to use this. Can we hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, please, in
Yes.
case you just lose in touch, just bring it to my notice. All right, thank you. I could not see my screen from the other screen I'm joining in with. All right, so which do I have any other? Okay, so if you're lucky enough, your data could come with a unique primary key retail ID, just the way this has come. But I feel there's some problem with. I'm going to create a new one. All right, you can see product ID, customer ID, and the likes, but this data doesn't really come with that. So it gives us the opportunity to understand how to even create primary keys, and we'll get to see this in my SQL. All right, so I'm going to create a retail table, just contains the retailers I have. So I'm not interested in this. I'm going to remove it. I'll remove it. All right, so I want to create a primary key. So first of all, when you break your table into a dimension table, the first thing you would do is to remove. I showed us, you can go over to the previous video and watch it. Because of time, I want to run very fast, so you bear with me, because we are about 2 weeks supposed to be on my SQL now. So the first thing you do is to remove the colons you don't want, which I've done already, and remove. After removing the colons and leaving the ones you want, you remove duplicates, because the dimension table should have unique values, no recurring values. All right. Okay. Let me get rid of this applied step so that we have a related ID back. So to remove the duplicates, you come here, click on your shift key and highlight this. So if I had 3 rows, I will come here, highlight this, click on my shift key, highlight it, highlight the next one, highlight the next one, highlight the next one, but I just have 2. So I'm going to come over here. You can right click anywhere. You can choose to remove duplicates from here, or you can come to this drop down here where this table figure is and click on remove duplicate. So there are several ways to kill a bed. All right. So remove duplicate. What happens? I've removed duplicates. All right. I see that duplicates. I've applied this step here. But what do you notice? Are there unique values here? Are they?
No.
No,
They are not, right? Why?
because the number actually occur in multiple times.
Okay. Who's speaking?
Inspire.
All right. So they're occurring several times. Footlocker, we have footlocker. That's not what we want. And see, so that's why I said I've removed duplicate, but it seems this retailer ID, well, I don't know. It's not. I got the data, but I'm not too sure. So just to avoid some issues, I'd rather get rid of this retailer ID and make my own. All right. So that's why I'm not sure. This retail ID might mean something from the company that this data set was released, but then so there's room, so I can get rid of this applied step and get rid of this remove colon. All right. So before you create your primary key, ensure you remove duplicate. So I'm going to remove duplicate and watch what's going to happen. Remove duplicates. Did I keep duplicates? Okay, remove duplicates. Now you can see the difference, right? So we have
Sir.
unique IDs, unique values. So the next thing I'm going to do is to create a primary key that will be a connecting link to the fact table. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add colon, all right, index colon from 1. So you can see I've applied 2 steps here, remove duplicates and add the index. So this is my index now. So I can rename, right click and rename. Let's do something quickly. So I call this because I don't want conflicting colon names. I'll keep this as retail ID. All right. So I click on OK. Beautiful. So the next thing we will do is, I think we're done with this. So I can reorder it. So whatever action you take here, it is accounted here. It's documented here. I remove duplicate, added step, rename colons, order the colons. So I have my retail ID. So now that's not all, because I've not linked this to the primary key, this primary key to the foreign key in the fact table. Remember, the primary key contains unique values. The foreign key can occur multiple times. All right, because we have so many data entry for Foot Locker, Walmart sales, Westgear, Amazon, all right, Spot Direct. So I'm going to come over. So to create this link, I'm going to my fact table now, all right, and click on my home tab. Look at merge query. I click on this drop down. I click on merge query. All right, so it gives me this tab, fact table. All right. So this is my fact table, so I can scroll over and see what's in my fact table. We still have the retailer ID here. So I want to create a new one because I'm no longer using this retailer ID. So I'm coming here to my retailer because I want to link this dimension table to the fact table. Click on retailer, so it shows me the table I just created. All right, so take a look at this option, fuzzy matching options. So take a look at what will happen. All right, so this is a kind of join. Beautiful. So when we were learning my SQL, we would get to understand how they are linked up. So it's called joins in SQL. It's called joins. All right, there are different kinds of joins: left join, right join, outer join, inner join, and to just have an understanding of what it is. So, but that's not necessary here now. So I'm just going to come over to my fact table and highlight the attribute I want to create. I want to link with the primary key. So the attribute here is the retailer. Okay, because this is what is common when it comes to joins, when it comes to linking primary keys and foreign keys. Can we hear me? A thumbs up, please.
Yes, sir.
See my screen also. Can we
Yes,
see my
sir.
can we see my screen?
Yes,
Just thumbs
sir.
up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Just thumbs up. All right, thank you. So this is, so please, between these two tables, what's the common thing there? Just a hand. Okay, go ahead. Inspire, go ahead.
Okay, is the retailer
All right.
column
So
that
we don't have,
column?
yeah, retailer column. We don't have retailer ID here or retailer ID. So now, so we're trying to find the commonality. So I click on retailer and I click on this retailer too. You can see there's an OK here, and look at the selection matches 9,648 out of 9,648 rows. All right. So I click on OK because this is what I want to link to my fact table. Beautiful. All right. So it creates another column for me by default, retailer ID. So I'm going to click on this square symbol here. What it has just done is that it has joined my fact table. It has made a relationship with my fact table and not a relationship anyway. It has just created a connection or a link to my fact table from my dimension retailer table. So it says use original column name as prefix. I don't want to use original column name as prefix. I can get rid of it. You can still leave it. Anyone, it's not a big deal. So the question here is that what should I leave? What is the linking the linking key to this table? I want to link it by the retail ID. So I unselect all and click on the retail ID. The primary key, all right, is what I want to join with the foreign key. Do we understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just if you understand, just a thumbs up. All right. Thank you. If you don't understand, a thumbs down. Let me go over it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Because it's very important. We need to get this. All right. Because when you are this data modeling, okay. I was expecting a thumbs down. All right. So don't worry, I'll go over it. I'll go over it when I'm creating the next table. So I'm going to highlight this and click on OK. So see what I meant by leave prefix as name. It has created two names again, retail ID dot retail. So all of this, I'm not interested. I come and rename it. So I can just say retail ID. Okay. So and I can reorder it to where I just, for personally, I just like keeping my primary keys or foreign keys at the first column of the table. All right, so that's for that. So we've created you've created a product table, retailer table. What else again do we want to describe our data with? Remember I said the essence of the dimension table is to describe your facts table. All right, so I like using this example, especially with sales data set. I come up and say, wow, Sarah or Esther, Ebube, can you imagine? Not can you imagine? Would you believe we made $80 million sales just in the last, okay, we made $80 million sales. And Esther says, really? When? Okay, that already tells you time. So so in order for me to describe my sales data, that measure $80 million, I'm going to use my date table. So that question, it answers the dimension, the dimension table answers the when, the what, the why, the where. So wow, we made 80 sales, $80 million sales. From where? Which region? What product gave us that amount of sales? Is it accessories? Is it clothing? Wow. So what was the respective contribution of all the products to bring up that sale? So these are the fact table. How do you want to answer or describe the facts? All right. So all of these are facts. Price per unit is fact. Let's rename this table now. Rename. Let me just use the unit price. So do you understand? So I just want us to understand. Okay. I want us to understand all of this. All right. So we made $80 million sales. Really, which retailer contributed to the revenue? I have my retailer table here. So remember, the dimension table answers those questions, the W questions, what, when, where, who. All right. So just a way, that's what I used to understand and has helped me all along. All right. So so the next question we want to answer is which other table? So yes, let's create our date table to answer the when. So I'm interested in creating a new table here. I right click. Let me refresh this. I right click. Let me run fast now, please. I need to finish up this project. Dates. Okay, so this is my date table. So you can see an applied step will have with filtered rows. So the next thing I want to do is to come over to choose column. Remember what I just want the information in my date table. So I choose column to get rid of what I'm not supposed to leave inside. So it gives me this tab here, and I click on select all columns and just leave the date table, invoice date. Okay. Click on OK. So I have the date table here. It's formatted in the date table. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to, what's the next thing, please, class? Just raise up your hand. What's the next thing? All right, go ahead, Deborah.
To remove duplicates.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, you are a true TEFEM fellow. Well done. All right, so to remove duplicates, right? I come over and remove duplicates because the fact table should be unique. Okay. So I can come over to add colon because I want to describe my data by quarter, by month, by day, by week, and all of those things. So I highlight the invoice table and click on date. So I could create another colon, another attribute, which is year. So it gives me year. I come over to the invoice date again. I create, if I'm not highlighting the invoice date, the initial unique, it will not highlight this date time. All right. So I'm going to come over, create my month. I'm interested in the name of month. All right. Come over again. Okay. Could do quarter. Come over again. Could do day, name of day. All right. So I just, all of this. So there's a term we call, what's that word again? Feature engineering. FEATURE. Feature engineering. All right. What it means is that you are generating. Remember, we did this in Excel. We are generating new columns from existing columns. So it's a terminology in data analysis, feature engineering. We'll get to do that in MySQL also. All right, where we can deduce existing new columns. If we are working with time series analysis, we are working with time. All right, so we can carry out. So look at time here, but this data does not have time. So we can track product inventory or peak sales during the daytime. I think we did that during our pizza sales data project in Excel. All right, so this is it. So now there are several ways to link up your date table to your fact table. You can either use the invoice date, that's the initial column, all right, or you could create a primary key. Each of them have their uniqueness, all right. So it's based on preference anyway. So but for this we'll use our dates because we have this reoccurring. All right, we have 1st of January 2020 occurring several times in the fact table. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is to go to my add colon, index colon. All right, from 1. Oh no. Okay, let me move this. Sorry, I wanted to link my invoice date with. So I'm going to my fact table and go to home tab, image queries. So remember, you find the common ground. All right. So someone gave me a thumbs down. Can't recall who was that. All right. So can follow through. All right. So I mentioned that the primary key is what you link in your fact table. All right. Why it's called foreign key in the fact table is because one of the characteristics of foreign key is that it reoccurs multiple times. All right. The primary key is unique, 100% unique. All right, is what is used to identify entries in your data set, observations. And give you an example. Someone like, which name will I use here? Elizabeth Adesuyi. She can have a colleague that is behind the same name. All right, have the same date of birth, have the same, the same date of birth will also give you the same age, the same school they graduated from, the same unique things, salary type, level, everything can be unique. All right, but even the same complexion, the same height and everything. But what we differentiate them is a primary key. So you only have it just the way your DNA is, or your fingerprints. All right. So that's what the primary key is. It must be 100% unique. All right. So let me uncheck this. Okay. So now the unique key here I want to link up with is my date table, and I want to link it to my invoice date to my invoice date. All right, so you can see it has matched. If this doesn't tick green, you might have to resolve it. So I click on OK. All right, so I've created a link between the foreign key and the primary key. So I'm going to uncheck this and click the primary key here and invoice date. Okay, you can rename this. Let's call this I hope I don't forget date key. Okay. All right, so we've done that for our date. We have our fact table already. We have our product. We have our retailer. So what's left is, remember, we made $80 million sales. Wow, glory, that's interesting. All right, so where did we make these sales from? Which region? What location contributed to this? Which table am I going to create next, class? Remember the W questions. Who is giving me the answer? Just a hand. We made $80 million sales. Where did we make these sales from? Which table am I creating out of the fact table? Thumbs up. Chisom.
Sir, can you please repeat the question?
I said, now I want to create a new table. I said, remember the analogy I used? We made $80 million sales. Wow. And everyone in the team is like, who did we make these sales from? Or where did we make these sales from? So what from that question, which table does it inform us to make? Remember I said,
Location.
location, beautiful. Remember I said don't forget this if you want to forget any other thing. The dimension tables help you describe your data. It describes it. Okay, let me put it this way. It gives, I think I wrote it down somewhere. It gives meaning. It gives meaning to your table, to your fact, to your metrics in your fact tables. All right, the dimension table is descriptive in nature. It is used to filter your fact table. All right, they give meaning to the so that's it gives. When I mean it gives meaning, when you see operating profit $30,000 here or $300,000 here, okay, I just come and say $300,000. It doesn't really make sense. But if I say we made $300,000 from Amazon, it has added meaning to $300,000. Can we hear me, please? Thumbs up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We can hear me, right? Hello, can we hear me? Thumbs up, please.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Can you see my screen also?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So, the next table we're going to create is the location, all right, which was earlier said. So the location, what we're going to do is to come over here. We already have a table here. Let me refresh this. So what's the next thing I'm going to do? Anyone wants to give it a try?
Sir, I think you create a new table for the location table.
Okay, so I'll rename it. I'll rename this here location. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, choose columns. All right. So I need someone to help me choose the column. Someone who has not spoken. Let's be fast. Inspire, you've spoken. Deborah, you've spoken. Let's give other persons chance. Who wants to give it a try? Anybody? No one wants to give it a try? It's simple. From what I've been doing, we want to select the columns that are necessary in the table. All right. Mary Jane.
Okay, so we'll select okay, I don't know, but let me just answer out. Like we'll select region, state, and city.
Region.
State and city.
All right. Correct.
I don't know.
Region, state, and city. So we're actually selecting what pertains to the table. What makes up the table. All right, the necessary things. We can't be selecting retailer in location. Right? It doesn't follow. So I'm going to click on OK. All right. So what's the next thing I'm going to do? I'm going to remove duplicates. All right, because we need 100% unique values. So to remove duplicates, shift key if you are moving duplicates from multiple columns. So let's do this now. I'm going to remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. All right. So we've removed duplicates. But I want us to look at the data set. Look at the table rather. Is there any observation? Is anyone following me in real time trying to model this data? All right, go ahead, Chisom. I just called it 3 names. Deborah. Was that a mistake?
Okay, sir. I think in the region column, you can see number 3, 4. I don't know if there is west, even in the states, California. Though the city is different, I don't know.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, sir, I just want to add to what she said. Like, what they are still,
Sorry?
like, I'm just trying to add to what she said. Like, in the region and state column, we still have duplicates there, but at the city tab, at the city column, what differentiates them is just the city. Like, this and the location are still reoccurring, but the city differs.
Yeah. That's what I observe also. Hmm.
Sorry, excuse me, sir. Is it not still unique like that? Like since they are not the same thing, but the region or state might be the same, but the city still differ. Is it not unique like that?
Mm. Okay. There was something I did. I'm trying to even recall. Because look at something now. You know what this means? This means that once one person performs or carries out a transaction, the person is not from either of these locations. The person is from all three locations at the same time. What I mean is the person is located within a region. If you are in a city, that city is under a state, and that state is under a region. Okay? If you are in a state, you are in a city in that state, and that city is under a region. So all of these are, if all of these, they are unique. So if you see Northeast New York, that means the person is from New York, in the state New York, in the region Northeast. Look at 4 persons from Los Angeles, California, and West. All right, so take a look. Are there repeating values across all 3 attributes at the same time? I'm still trying to recall what I did here. But is this a bit what did I remove? Okay. What else? Let me check. Do you understand what I just said? Mary Jane, go ahead.
Okay, sir, but from this data now, from this table, I don't think there's no repetition, there's no duplicate. It's probably just the region, but different cities, even if there's so is the data not clean enough for us to proceed?
If data is clean enough.
Like, is there still any issue? Because I don't think there's issue with the data. Or maybe we can join with the city instead of using the state and the region, since the city are more like there's no repetition in the cities.
Okay, so all right. Thank you. All right, so it's a bit intermediate here now, but see what will happen. If there are no repeating values, all right. Okay, South Mississippi. We can decide to go with the region alone. We can decide to go with the state. We can decide to go with the city. But I just want to be sure that there are no repeating values across all the state and regions and city. Because it has to be 100% unique. If not, you may not be able to proceed if you try to model. Okay, so all of these are unique. All right, all of these are unique. Let me just make this a bit intermediate, so that because you would see things like this. All of these are unique. So what I mentioned, Inspire. So I said that if let's look at city, because city is more granular. It's in maybe in order of hierarchy. It's in the list. So it's on the list category. I said if you are located in Austin or San Francisco, you can't say you are in Nigeria or okay. I think that's more relatable. You can't say yes. You are in if you are in Ojota or you are in which other location is popular in Lagos now. If you are in the main island, that means you are in Lagos, and that means you are in Nigeria. So what I said is that if you are in Austin, that means you are in Texas, and you are under a region south. Okay, so if you make a transaction, Inspire, you make a transaction from Miami, that means it will be if you want to record it in a state level, you are located in Florida. And if you want to record it on region level, you are located in the Midwest. So all of these attributes, all right, they are unique. So Inspire might be in Las Vegas. Mary Jane can be in Dallas. So you made this transaction, all three attributes to be recorded because that's where you're located in. Am I making sense? All right, so we'll go ahead and we're sure that they are unique. If they're not unique, it will return an error. So I'm going to create I'm going to create an index. In the next 4 minutes, I should be done with this. Create an index. All right, so I rename this where's my rename? Okay, location ID. Click on OK. All right, I reorder it. So I'm going to my fact table. Let me see how fast I can go. Merge queries. So this is it now. This is what I want to. It's a bit intermediate because normally I would have left the region alone or city or state. I could break them into 3 tables. Oh, yes, that's true. I could break them into 3 tables. I could just break it into region. And so, okay, this is just a way of this is another, let's say, intermediate, because we'll find this sometimes. So let me show you how to handle this case to see it. Because if I decide to break it into 3 tables, region in 1 table, state in 1 table, city in 1 table, I'm sure from the example I've given you, you're able to create a primary key, because I just created a primary key using the retailer table product date. So you'll be able to do that. But in a situation where you want to aggregate your region table or your location table with 3 columns at the same time, this is how you do it. All right, so the table I want to merge it with is my location. And since all 3 are unique, remember we looked at the table, all the entries, all the details are all unique. Northeast, you won't see, what I mean is what I mean by unique is that you won't see Northeast New York appearing more than once. Neither will you see West California and Los Angeles appearing more than once. Am I good? Thumbs up, thumbs down if you don't get it. All right, let's push. So remember I was selecting what are the unique values? What are the common attributes here between the fact table and the location dimension table? Remember, we're matching it by what is common. It's like a Venn diagram. When we get to SQL, would appreciate it better. Wow, good. I'm having hands up. Mary Jane, go ahead. I need more people to answer in this group. On this call rather.
Okay, so region, state, and city.
Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to click on my region. Where's my region? So we'll click it to if I click one and click the next one, you see to keep on moving. I'm not clicking all three. I want to click all three at the same time, or I want to click all three, not at the same time. So I'm going to use my shift key, click on region, then use my shift key. You can see it as labeled it as 2. Click on city 3. So we do that in the same order on the location table, region, state, and you can see this green button. Okay, all right. So it has matched. Beautiful. So click on OK. It's as simple as that. So this is what you do when you want to do several columns. All right. So I come over here. So you see this table. Let me cancel this. You see this table it has created here. It's where it wants to. It's asking like, how do you want me to now link it up with what? With what do you want me to link up with? So I want to create a foreign key here. Remember, foreign key, the attribute of the foreign key, or the characteristics of the foreign key that come multiple times. So I'm going to use my location ID because I'm creating a link between my primary key, which is unique 100% in my dimension table, and mine. So I'm repeating this over and over so that it will stick. All right, so I click on OK. So to create it here, you can see. So you can see this is a foreign key that is appearing multiple times. So you can rename this location ID. Right, so that's it. So in case you want to create your location, you can create a location. You can just, instead of saying location table, you could let me duplicate this again. Let me delete this. You can duplicate this, duplicate again, and duplicate again. So it depends on how you want to slice your data. You want to describe your data. All right. So me, I'm just showing you a more advanced way. All right. So we could come here and say, see what I meant by, you can just say region. You can come here, rename, and say state. I don't think you would have a problem to model this. You can now come here and say city. All right. So it depends on how you want to analyze your data. I want to see it on a city level. I want to see. So what I just did here was aggregated everything and said location. All right. So either way you can do it. You can see. So I'm going to delete all of this. So I don't want to just have multiple tables, but it's based on preference. All right. I'm just showing you. So it's left for you. I'm just showing you, just guiding you of the possibilities on what can come out in Power BI. I'm going to delete this. Yes, I want to delete this. Let me rename this. So the last date table I want to create is my my sales method. You can call it sales method. You can call it channel. Let's rename this channel of sales. Any of them. Let's call this channels. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what it means. Delete this. All right. So what's the next thing? All right. So you can remember from the fact table, you can see that you have to understand your data. All right. You can see there's a sales method here. It's called sales method. So I'm just giving different options. So how did we make our sales? In-store, outlet. I think we have, why just this? Let's check load more. We have in-store, we have online and outlet. All right. So I think in the project we're going to work, I will explain some things. Recently, I ordered something from Jumia, and I paid on delivery. All right. Okay, so I didn't pay online. Okay, so there are differences. We'll see how all of these things, they look insignificant, but they can all, you can derive insight from your data and see how it can boost your sales. So in-store, online, outlet. So this is the sales method. How did we sell our product? Is it in-store? Is it online? Do we have outlets, small retail shops around? Okay, so that's it. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. Click on any of the column, go to choose column. What am I interested in? I'm interested in just sales method. So channel of distribution. Where is the sales method? Okay, sales method. So it gets rid of the rest columns in the table. All right, so this is it. The next thing I'm going to do, remove duplicates because it's 100% unique. Wow, what happened? Not remove duplicates. Okay, beautiful. So before I proceed, I really want to share us up for everyone on the call. I think today is a fixed class, right? Today is Thursday. Okay. All right. So honestly, I'm really impressed by the number of persons that are on the call currently.
Sorry, sir. I think you are choosing on the fact table, not on the channel.
Yes, yes.
Hey, wait. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. Wow, that was very observant. Okay, so I'm going to remove all of this. Yeah, revert. It's true. Wow. Remove the other columns. Oh my goodness. What else did I do again? Did I filter row? Rename column 3. Hope I didn't tamper with this data set. Filter rows, filter row. What does that represent?
So you click on the filter to see the unique, like the in-store.
Okay,
There
okay,
were
yeah,
three.
the
Yes, the
sales
standard
method.
sales method.
The sales method, right? Thank you very much. Okay, so I think I can leave this. It's not really, it's not going to affect our data. Thank you. So, thank you very much. Thank you. We have just been using the remaining hour of the meeting to troubleshoot, but that was fast. Yeah. So I was saying, I want to really appreciate everyone for being around up to this time. All right, like we earlier mentioned when we started, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Right, so it requires diligence, determination, and grit. So I'm really impressed. Honestly, it encourages us as the instructor. It really encourages us. So well done, and you've come this far. I just want to say you can push it till the end. All right. So stay glued. Wear your seatbelts. We're on the drive. So my channels, I'm going to do the same thing. Choose columns. Get rid of the columns that are not related to my channels of distribution. I leave only sales method. So you can create as many tables you want to create, and as more as your data keeps growing, there's what we call. We will not go into that. It's a bit advanced. Creating a snowflakes, so where different tables begin to branch out from different tables. So all the tables will not connect directly to your fact table or your dimension table. Some tables will branch off just like a tree, the stem and different branches. All right. So not all branches connect to the connecting point of the stem. They connect into different. So that's snowflakes. Snowflaking. All right. So I'm going to remove what did I just do here. Okay, highlight this and get rid of the duplicates. Okay, let's see how far we can go. I'm trying to watch time. Remove duplicates. All right, so we have in-store, outlet, and online. So what next? What next? Add colon, right? Create an index. So if peradventure your data set came with transaction ID based on sales method, or it has maybe sales method ID, fine, you are good to go. Provided it's unique, so we can use it. So the reason I'm creating all of this is because this data set it doesn't come with some unique primary keys. All right. Even the primary key it came with, I'm not too sure. That's the retailer ID key. Not too sure. That's why I ignored it and created my index colon. See this index colon. You can start. It must not always be 1. You can start from 0. See, I started from 0. So you should I want to, you should know what you want to use it or how you want to. It's based on preference. So I don't like 0. That's why I'm not using. So I remove added index. So you can also customize it. You can say install 1, install 2, outlet 2. You know how custom things are now. All right. So just to keep things simple, index, so we'll rename this and call this, can call this channel ID. All right. So rename, reorder it. And I think we're done. We are done with all the tables. We have the fact table, we have the product table, we have the retailer table, date, location, channel. All right. So let's just be sure. Channel ID 123, sales method, install outlet online, location ID, region, state, city, all the same data type. This is a numeric data type. So be sure we have all of this: year, numeric, quarter, numeric, month, text, day name, text, invoice, date, retailer, retail ID, good, retailer, Foot Locker, Walmart, Spot, West, Amazon, call, product, customer ID. Oh no, see where the mistake is now. So let's rename this. Customer ID, soon the customer ID should be product ID. It can confuse you. I hope we'll check what's in the fact table also, product ID. All right. So fact table. So let's see. So remember, fact table contains numeric values. It contains measurements, facts or metrics, or the attribute. The attribute themselves, they hold no meaning. Like I said, 200 watts. All right. Numeric, they are quantifiable. They are numeric in nature. That's what is in your fact table. They are numeric in nature. They are quantifiable. All right. So why the dimension table gives context to your facts. Remember, if I see 200 sales, okay. All right. So all of that. So we can, it's see retailer. I can get rid of this if I want to. I can remove. I just want my tables to contain just numeric. So I don't need this again here. It's optional. You can leave it. Remember the data set we worked with when we started Power BI and DAX. I left all of those things there. So we can remove this, because why we're removing this, because we already have a foreign key that is linked up to the primary key in our dimension tables from the fact table. All right. So can remove this. So the foreign key and the primary key, they already know we already have the attributes in the respective table. So get rid of this. Just want to leave fact and get rid of product, remove. And also get rid of, you can see this is how a fact table should look like. I can get rid of sales method because we already have a unique identifier. Okay, you can see customer ID right now. All right, so it's asking me what's going on, like what's up, are you going to get rid of me also? All right, so have I encountered this before? I think I've linked it up with, okay, let's change this, let's rename this, let's see if we rename, because I think I linked this. Remember, I just renamed the primary key colon name from the product table, from customer ID to product ID. So let's change this. I hope it works. Okay, still okay. I think we have to remerge again. Okay, because I just altered what I already did. So we have to remerge it again. So we have location ID, we have date key, we have operating margin, we have operating profit, total sales, unit sold, unit price, invoice date, retailer ID, retail ID. Okay, we can leave this here just in case. So I'm going to, because we'll have problem if we don't resolve all of this now. So we'll go to the fact table. Yes, we're already there. We click on home tab, go to merge queries, and let's merge again. Okay, say it has gone off. So there's no link between the primary key and the foreign key. So to do that again, we're in fact, okay, we're currently on the fact table. That's why it's showing current. So I'm come to my product table, merge this with, so I can't do that again because I've removed the product name. All right, so I'm going to cancel this. I don't have any text data type here, so I'll cancel this. I'm going on thanks to applied steps. I think we can undo what we just did. Okay, we can see now our product is back again. So I go over to merge queries. All right, so product, and yeah, we're good to go. Beautiful. So so we can come here and call this. So I want to link them with the product ID. I click on OK. Oh, I have to rename this again. Okay. Don't like renaming it. I just like getting rid of it. By unchecking that pop-up. Okay, click on OK, product ID. So I can get rid of this colon. Remove. All right, so, and I can also get rid of sales. Remove. Just want my fact table to contain. So your fact table, well, let me not run faster than myself. Let's just stay with sales data set now. Okay, can remove this. All right, so trying to be on time. So retail ID, retailer ID, invoice date, region. Oh, okay, we still have all of this here. Remove this, remove this, remove this. Okay, so this is fact table. All right, so I think we are good to go. So after that, we have a fact table. We have 6 tables here, 5 dimension tables and 1 fact table. We come over to close and apply. So what it means that we can, if we can close, but it will not, the changes will not be affected in our, so what right now I'm in my Power Query editor, but the change will not be affected in the Power BI desktop. All right, so I want to close
I'm
and
sorry,
apply.
Mr. Ife. I don't think you linked the channels, the channel ID to the fact table.
Yes, that's why I'm raising my hand.
Thank you for watching, paying close attention. Okay, thank you, and I agree with that. All right, so we'll come to the fact table. We'll go to, where are we going to again, Seth? Merge queries, Abby. Oh, that's true. So channels. Hey, Kai. Hey, I have to go back and remove all of this. So sometimes it's just good to leave those things. Just more of standardized way. Let me remove and apply this again. Okay, so I think we'll have our after now, just leave it. Channels. So sales method. I think we can now find sales method here in case I don't want to be removing. Okay, click on OK. Thank you. If not, we would have encountered little challenges. So I don't want to rename this table again. I want to use original colon name as prefix. All right, beautiful. Channel ID. Great. Should we still remove all of this? There should be a way to redo. No, no. But let's leave it here in case we have any need. We will not be removing and taking time. So let's leave it. All right. So that's all. So we close and apply. And so it's going to be affected in our. So all of this will change now. Fact table 4, fact table 5. It will now rename. So it's giving me this option. There are pending changes in your queries that haven't been applied. Apply changes, discard changes, apply changes. All right. So it's creating a connection in the model. I hope we're all following up to this point, right? Any question, any concern before we move? Because we are moving forward. Do we understand? Thumbs up. We don't understand. All right, let me just take maybe a couple of minutes to answer some questions. Power BI is not that difficult. All right, it's just have understanding. All right, Duru, go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask now, we created location and we merged region, city and state. So you were saying that we can do them differently. So I was just thinking, since on the region column now, we were having west appearing different multiple times. If we should create like separate table for region, state and city, will it be correct? Because when you do remove duplicates from the region, I think it will just keep like one west. Will
Yes.
it still be correct?
Will it still be what?
Like if we should separate region, states and city and then like create separate tables for them instead of merging them and calling them location, and then when we are now on the region table now, we are trying to like remove duplicates and merge with the fact table. So I'm saying that since on the region column there is waste, like west multiple time, so if we should remove duplicate, obviously it will keep like only one west. So will
Yes.
it be correct? Will that be correct?
Yes, it will be very
Yes,
correct
it will
because
be very correct because
can you mute your mic, please? Thank you. All right. So it will be very correct because in the region, you just have about, I think we have about 5 region. Uh, let's check table view. See, we just have 4 regions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rather. So you exactly the way it is here, you will see it in the in a fact table, in your dimension table. Likewise, state and city. All right. Is that understood? And there's no problem with that. You saw how we did uh, channels. All right. Install outlet just the way it's going to be with its unique ID. So beautiful. So that's it. Any other question? All right. Let me progress. So the next thing we want to do is to come to our model view to um, to create a relationship. You know, and we have different types of relationship. Mr. Daniel but already established that. So Power BI is intuitive, very intuitive. It knows what you've done and it automatically helps you to create a relationship between your tables. So these are my tables. You can see them. Beautiful tables. All right. So let's reduce the size. So let's check what you can see. This is one relationship created here, is a one-to-many relationship. What does one-to-many relationship mean? We have one unique value in the dimension table, and we have multiple occurrence of that value that is represented by the primary key in the fact table. That's why it's called one-to-many, just for emphasis. So it has linked. Look at what it did, product to product, which is not what we want. Okay, we need to link it with the ID because let's just see how it goes. So, but let's put it together. Okay. All right. So come over here, click on properties. Wait, did I link? Okay, this is what it links in many to one. So the many is the fact table and the one side. So cancel. So I'm not interested in using this as my relationship key. So I delete it. Yes. Okay. So I'll drag and drop my product ID to product ID here to establish a one-to-many relationship. All right, it has created it. Good. So it didn't return any error. That means we're good. What else again? Our date, invoice date. So remember we created a key called date key. All right. So drag and drop to date key. Create. Exactly. Good. So retailer ID. So to retail ID. Drag and drop. Channel ID. Okay. Nice. Location ID. Just to confirm, it's channel ID. Okay, channel ID to channel ID. Location ID to location ID. Product ID to the product ID. Good. Retail ID to R to retail ID. Beautiful. Invoice date to date key. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, invoice ID to customer ID. Delete this relationship. Yes. Invoice date to date key now. Okay. Date key. Okay, invoice date key. You have to cross check it because when the thing start returning error, you will not even know. I mean, because that was calculating. I think in one of the classes, I think that was the first class I had with us. I was calculating sum of profit, and it was it was returning that $3 trillion. I say, oh, so you will not even know. So sometimes the mistakes can be so subtle. All right, you won't know. That's how you just be going in your innocence. You think you're you think you're creating measures and putting them on card visuals. So you actually there are ways to troubleshoot it anyway. If you walk around data, some abnormal values will be returning. So I was calculating some, and it was giving me trillions. I said, which company is doing annual revenue in trillions? That's the whole United States um, annual budget. So to the thing, you have to be very, very, very careful, meticulous, that it will not return. And the thing is that you hardly know, right? So you must check everything first, cross the T's and dot the I's. Because when it begins to return values for you, you will not know. It's numbers now, it's figures, so you can't even really tell. And that will lead to flawed insights. Okay, product ID, go again. Because me, I don't have that strength to some of that troubleshooting. Retail ID. C, let's go over to C. Channel ID and location ID. I think we're good to go, right? Okay. Please help me cross-check all my fellow cross-checkers. Thank you. All right. So next we'll go to our report view. So like I said, this is a project we're working on. It's Adidas sales data set. I believe we have the data set already. Okay. If you see the data set that was provided, there is this header on it, Adidas US sales data set. You can remove it. I have the already extracted version, or maybe sales data set. Maybe I could share it after the class. But you can just remove the headers where you see that big bold Adidas and adjust your colon, or copy the entire table and put in a different workbook and save and load it directly. So that when you load it to Power BI, you won't see null values. I think some of us are encounter that too. So I just no need to stress. You just remove those headers and readjust it so that your data will start from cell A1. You can put in a new sheet or a new workbook entirely and just save it. I think we can do that already now. We're able to do that because we have experience with Excel. It's not really difficult. So this is the project we're going to work on. Let me check for that file. Okay. So this is a project that we're just walking us through creating the data model. So when we see data sets like that, it will be easy for you to work with when you're creating your own normalized tables. So how do I zoom in now? No. Can we see my screen? It's first audible. It's visible enough, right? Okay. All right. So it's a sales data set analysis project using Power BI. All right. The objective is to analyze sales data and answer various business questions using Power BI, DAX expressions, and visualizations. The end goal is to create an interactive dashboard that answers business-related questions. And the dashboard should include the drill to page for deeper insight. I think we did this, so we'll just go over it. In this assignment or project, you use this dataset to create a Power BI dashboard that helps answer the following business questions, include necessary KPIs. All right. Business questions to answer, total sales by region. So all of these are questions to answer. We'll not answer all anyway. I think some will just try your hands on it, but I will just give you an overview of what you can do with the data set. Right, operating profits, sales method, giving different, so just create questions around it, right? So I'll send these files, creating the interactive dashboards, overview page, what should be on your overview page. Your main page should contain total cost and profit by product, using a bar chart, unit sold by product, using a bar chart. All of this can be flexible, can change depending on what you want to use. Revenue by sales. So I'll work us on how we use some of these visualizations and what they best represent, how to use them effectively. All right, not all visuals apply for whatever you want to visualize. And revenue by sales, donut charts, revenues by retailer, trend line chart, matrix, drill through page. You can create a drill through page that allows users to click on any retailer product from the main dashboard to get more detailed information. Remember, the drill through page different from drill downs and what again, hierarchies. All right, so drill through, sales breakdown. So all of this, you just go over it. All right, and additional features, add slicers, use slicers for dynamic filtering, such as filtering by region, state, product, or sales method. Deliverables, the active dashboard. Your dashboard should be interactive with the main page. We'll answer some questions and I'll see how to draw insight. All right, so we'll go very fast. Go very fast. All right, so go very fast. You can always come back to catch up. Evaluation criteria, your data accuracy, ensure all DAX expressions are correct and that the visuals are pulling the correct data. All right, so I think who asked that question? Is it Mary Jane or can't recall again, using DAX? So we'll get to use DAX, all of these, and clarity of insight. Dashboard should clearly answer the business questions, visualizations, a complete page will gain experience and effective sales. All right, performance report, interactive dashboards, and essential for data analysis. All right, so I'll walk us through on how to go about it. All right, so this is what we're going to create, replicate. Just to give you an overview. All right, so we'll get to do this together. Came up with this dashboard, and it's a way of clearly you're trying to understand and visualize key performance indicators, what it truly represents, and we'll just walk us through. All right, so this is just a first side of what we're going to do. All right, so I believe we're already used to, for those of us that embarked on the Excel project with Mr. Daniel. All right, if you've not done that, please, I encourage you to do it. It's the same thing. All right, so just we're applying it in Power BI, and so as we progress, just pay close attention, and if there's any question, you can ask, and you get to appreciate it better. All right, so let's see how fast we can proceed. So first of all, this is my report view, right? And this is my canvas, right? So we can select or drag fields for data pane onto the report canvas. So we just go by as fast as possible. So the first thing we want to do is the same thing. It's the same way we created our Excel. So just that there will be slight changes, and just for you to understand the interface better. All right, so first of all, what do you want to do? Okay, now, like I said, Power BI is a visualization tool. All right, it's a core visualization tool, which is complemented with DAX, data analysis expression. And so your visualizations should be good enough to communicate what you are. It's not about having a very good visualization without drawing insight from or bringing out information from your data. Right, so the first thing we do is the brand we're working with is Adidas, and if you see the choice of this color, it's blue, and it informs the brand color of the company Adidas, right? So that informs the choice of colors I made use here, right? So you can go, we'll go online together. I already have them downloaded offline already, so it's just to pick them for my local storage. So let's proceed. So in creating the dashboard, you make use of some of these visuals here, right? So this build your visual pane. Right, so the first thing we want to do is to create a background, all right, and answer those questions. Or I think before we even do that, what should work? Okay, I think let's look at the. Okay, so it's just a mini project. It's simple, but I think you will benefit something from this, right? We're not. So this is it. So we're asked to include necessary KPIs, right? Total sales by region, average unit price, and I'll tell you why all of these are really important as KPIs. So if you take a look at the KPIs here, we have the familiar KPIs we all know, all right? Units sold. I think let me come over here. Let me make it. And let me include some decimals. Please hold on, let this refresh. Before we proceed, any question while this is. Any question? Okay. Okay, beautiful. All right, so I was trying to include two decimal places. I prefer it that way because there's a difference between 2 million unit product sold and 2.48 million products sold. All right, so there's an extra 480,000. Yes, 480,000 products. So in my own opinion, well, I prefer it that way because data should be very detailed. Your analysis should drill down to the very least information that your data holds or represents. So personally, I don't, I don't leave my visuals with just one decimal point. Okay, so we know it's like saying how many people are in this category, how many people are in this region. It's about 5,846 persons, and what your visuals can say is they're just 5.6 million. Right, so we just even though we don't need at least 2 decimal place. All right, it's standardized anyway, so it's based on preference. All right, so they're simple questions, and let's answer them together. All right. So you can see these are key KPIs. Product, number of products that all of these retailers all of the retailers combined are retailing, are offering for sales in the market. And we have this number of products, average price, total cost, total revenue, total profit, and profit margin. All right, it's a key indicator to show how well you are profiting. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is, these are simple DAX expression. We just come over to create our DAX here. All right, I think this is a way to gauge what we just did if it's correct. So we'll come to our fact table, right? Come to our fact table. But still, these are very important KPIs. I will click on new measure. So I call this pause. To calculate our measure using the sum function. Remember what the sum function does. So this is where we reference our fact table. All right. Where's our fact table? So this is the total sales. Right. Sales is also referred to as revenue. So this is the way we check if what we've done is correct. Our the relationship we've created. Recently, I don't know why my commit is not always working. I just have to click off. So this is a card visual. Let's check if it's that this way we'll know what's wrong with our okay. It's giving us 809 million. Let's check this. Okay, total revenue. So it's rounded it up. Okay. Okay, so we're on the same page. So we're just creating key KPIs. We'll begin to draw meaning from this data set as we progress during our next call. So let's just get this. So I would run very fast because I want to ensure that we are done with this project this week and we kick off with MySQL. Okay, so copy this, Control C, Control V. I have a copy here. Control C, Control V. Okay. Control C, Control V. All right. The next thing, let's calculate our total cost. All right. So total cost is very, very important to, to calculate. I'm going to do new measure. So one of the reasons we create, you have to know your cost because it's a way of measuring your cost to your profit. How well are you making profit? Okay. You don't want to invest you invest so much, your capital and then your return on investment is not commensurable. You know, a lot of effort being put in, and let's call this total cost. A lot of effort put in. So we want to measure, and with that, we're able to know our what's the word now? Profit margin. All right, total cost. So it's important to know the cost. Cost could be in operating cost, it could be in time, it could be in your resources, it could be anything. It must your cost is not always monetary value, it could be in time also. All right, so you have to measure this. The total cost will be sum, and I think it's there. There's no. Okay, I doubt there is. There is. I doubt there is a cost. So let's look at the data set together. Get rid of this. Okay, so together we'll look at the. Let's take a look at the fact table together and see if we have a cost. I wish maybe everyone was on their file also. We don't have cost. How do we go about this? Inspire, please go ahead. Inspire, Inspire, are you there? Who wants to go
Okay,
ahead?
yes, I'm here, sir. Okay, what I thought about was that I think the total sales minus the operating profit, then divided by the units sold will give us the cost of the product. I'm not really sure, bro, because I'm kind of.
Okay. Anyone want to try again? That you're correct, but it's not accurately correct. So this is called picture engineering also. So you get to see sometimes your data set comes in and you don't have some key attributes. So you have to create them on the fly. All right. Anyone want to give it a try again? Remember, it's total cost. Okay, so of course, what the normal formula? Remember, cost price is equals to, or profit is equals to, am I saying? Selling price minus cost price gives you profit, right? Yes, selling price minus cost price. Yeah, it gives you profit. So if you do the cross multiplication or the inversion rather, like terms, is it like terms now? So if you change it, it will give, you can get your cost price. So it's simple maths, all right? So I just want to create the total cost, all right, which I want to use as my key performance indicator, the total cost. So I only have total cost. I only have total sales here, which is indicated by my revenue, all right? So in order for me to get the total cost as a measure, I'm going to create a measure that holds my total profit. All right, so we have operating profit already. We already have operating, and the operating margin is I think the unit price divided, or I think it's total profit over revenue multiplied by 100. That's the operating margin. So we're not interested in the operating margin now. So the operating profit. So I'm going over to create a new measure which will hold the total profit. All right. So this is going to be, let me increase this, Control plus Shift, total profit. Okay, which is going to be sum all my operating profits fact table. Okay. Let's be sure. All right, Favor, go ahead. Get rid of this. Okay, this is correct. So, Favor, go ahead, please.
Sorry, sir, it was a mistake.
All right. So now we can now calculate our total cost. All right. How do we do that? We come over here. There's already a symbol here. Let's continue from where we stopped. What's that? Okay. So this would be our total cost. So it would be sum of, so if profit is total sales or selling price minus cost price, so if you do the inversion, cost will be total sales minus profit. So we already have the measure. We look for our measure here in the fact table. Our revenue. Where's my revenue? Okay. In fact, total sales. Sorry. Okay. I'm not supposed to use the sum. Oh, and we could do it this way: sum profit. All right, so this is our total cost. All right, so these are key indicators, like I mentioned, and it will help us in our analysis as we move forward. Okay, so the next thing we want to create again is average price, right? Average product price. And what this average product price does, so that we don't just get accustomed to just creating KPIs and we don't understand its meaning. Okay, it's not that we don't understand its meaning, right? So in Excel, I don't know if we really did much on statistical analysis, right? For those of us that have a basic knowledge about statistics, right? So when you hear the word average, right, it's it's a statistical function. All right, average, it's the total count in a sample divided by the sum of the count divided by the total count. And in my Excel classes, I try as much as possible to break that in detail. All right. So what does average really mean? When you hear the word average, average salary of a worker, average age of someone working in this company. All right, this is the average height. So when you hear the word average, what does it? I was always curious to understand what average meant. Right from I didn't really get it from primary school, secondary school, average. But what does it really mean in context? Let's bring it back home. All right, so it has its meaning. So when you hear the word average, right, it shows the typical um tendency in within a sample of a data. All right, let me try and explain that so that we have a better understanding. All right, so there's what we call descriptive statistics. All right, it's a branch of statistics that involves organizing, summarizing, and presenting data in meaningful ways. All right, so and under descriptive statistics, I'm trying to branch away and just get something. It's a key component of the mean, which is the average. It's also known as the mean. It's a it's a key component of descriptive statistics. It's to describe your data points. All right, there's what we call measure of central tendency. All right, so the mean is under a measure or a central tendency. It helps us describe the center point of our data. So let me try to break it down. So we have products, all right, several products in the market, and then we have different product prices. All right, so when we sum up all of these product together, the prices, and divide it by the total count, that gives us the mean. Okay, so that value is describing the center point of the data set, in this case all our prices. All right, so the average is a single number that represents the middle or the typical value of all of those numbers. So when you see the average, when you see somebody, okay, for those of us, let me put as those of us that are in the university, we're in the department, we have class reps. When you see the class rep, it represents your your department. All right, representing the whole department. For example, you guys could be 50 in that department, but just one person is representing everyone. So if I've seen one person, at least I think I've seen the remaining people or member of that group. It's the same thing. So the average is a single value that represents, in this case, it represents the remaining prices of our product. So when we say the average age working in this company is 30, that means likely the people you meet, they are around that age. That's what it means. Likely, very likely, more than 50%, more than 60%. In fact, there's, let me not go deep. There's what we call skewness of data. That's the statistics. All right. So the value is a single value. When we return the average price, now we can say that okay, the product that Adidas is selling, the average price. That means if you pick any product from Adidas, the average price is going to be likely around this. So it's a central tendency. All right, it's a typical value that represents the whole group. So let's just put it in context. All right. I just hope that I don't want to digress too much, but I just hope that suffices. Let's create the average. So we'll come over here, create a new measure. We'll call this average price. All right. Why is my PowerBII doing like this today now? God. Okay, table. I thought I named this thing total cost. Okay, so we'll call this average price. So I will show you why these are key metrics. Average. How do you spell average again? Oh God. So we use the function, average, and we'll go to all our unit price facts. No attendance link yet. Okay, let's use the class rep. Yeah, go and represent. I don't think they've dropped attendance link. Represent your class as the average representative. I thought they had dropped the attendance link. Average unit price. Okay. So I'll check this off and bring our unit price. We can put this in the field here directly. Okay, so we can come over and format this currency. And then you can also format this. So formatting is very important because I think if we're all familiar, they will mark you down in school if you arrive at your final answer and then you don't put the SI unit. 332 million what? Is it million boys? Or 567.7 million what? So you have to put your, these are what makes your work outstanding. Total cost, okay, uh, and then what else again? This is total profit. All right, so we have this. So this is average price now, $45.22. All right. So what it means is that this is representing, the middle or typical value of a group of numbers right now. The group of numbers is a unit price, all the unit price, so it gives us the idea of what the normal is. All right. So there's a tendency that when you see 45, like the price is going to be a little bit above 45 or below $45. All right. So that's what the average means. It's a part of descriptive statistics. All right. And it's called a measure of central tendency. So that's the average price. So we know that, okay, so this helps us. We're already performing the analysis. All right. So this helps us when we see this helps us there's a hand up. Okay, I'll respond to that. So this helps us know how relatively our prices are cheap, how cheap our prices are, or our product rather. What am I saying? Okay, so compared to other product categories. Okay, so we can tell if if the product is cheap generally, or maybe mid. Please go ahead with your question. Deborah. Well,
Okay, sorry, I didn't know I raised my hand, but we can rename that average to average price.
thank you, thank you. Please, I need all of you to follow me. Okay, I think we can rename it directly from here. Okay, thank you. It didn't occur to me. Average price. Before I go and do descriptive statistics here. All right. So you can see how these KPIs are important, right? They're showing you. So it's not so if you take a look at this dashboard now, right? So all of this, they mean something. All right, they mean something. We'll appreciate it better when we proceed. So we've gotten our total cost of revenue and profit, units sold. Is it 5 visuals we've gotten? Okay, 5. So total product count. All right,
4.
it's 4. What is missing out?
What I meant was that it was like it is only 4 KPIs that we've gotten from our hand, not 5.
Okay. So which is unit sold, average price, total cost, total revenue.
Yes, sir.
We've not gotten total profit.
Units sold is
We're not
not
getting total
amount.
profit.
Gotten the total
Getting the total
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 units sold.
units sold.
Okay, unit sold. Okay.
Okay, units sold. Okay.
So to get the unit sold, you can just, it's easy. You come over here. Let me get rid of this. Unit sold, unit sold, unit sold, unit sold. You can drag and drop here, right? So it's on sum. All right. So it has calculated all the. If you go to your table here, you can see unit sold for women's apparel, 275 products. All right, men's apparel 125 products, women's apparel. So these are, remember, these are factable, so they are recurring. All right, so it total sales from the Northeast on this date, 27th of October. All right, that the Foot Locker retailer, the retail company sold, it's 225. The next day, is it the next day? Yes, the next day, 2020, October 28th, 21, from that same region, Foot Locker from still Pennsylvania, rather, and the city Philadelphia, they sold men's street footwear, all right, at 475. So this is what the fact table is telling us, and see the unit price here. All right, so we have now seeing a unit price now 75. Can you see 75 as a unit price here? Women's apparel. But if you come over to our KPI, you see I said average price is 45. Right, I don't know. I like hitting on some descriptive statistics. Let me not dive deep, if not it will take our time. But so what it means is that this is the center point of the data, even though we are seeing 75 here. All right, a unit price here 75. Women's apparel was sold at $75. Okay, but that's not for today's class. Let me just go straight. So unit sold count. Remember, we can always put it into decimal places. Everybody has their preference and their reasons. All right, so I like leaving it because it's detailed. It's telling us what actually is the number 2.48 million. Okay, so we can copy and paste this again. Let's check what we want to do. So we've gotten unit, so we can do product count. Okay, so product count, get rid of this. Yes, T units sold. I think so. Let's count distinct. No. Count. No. Anyone want to try how we get unit total count?
I think it's for the product, not for the
Like this.
you. Then you click on distinct count.
All right. So it's that simple. You also use DAX. All right. You can use the count function and it will count it for you. So these are just several ways. Like I said, there are different ways to get it done. So just get accustomed to it using those functions. All right. So we have our product, we have our unit sold, we have our average price, we have our total cost, we have our total revenue, we have our profit. Those are 6 KPIs, and then the profit margin. Does anyone understand what profit margin is before I add to that?
Not really, sir.
Can anybody try? Can anybody try? Most of us are into business here. Okay, Mary Jane, go ahead. You've been very active today. I'm impressed. Very, very impressed.
Okay, so in business, a profit margin is just
I
the
like the way you're
difference.
talking in business. Go
It
ahead.
just it's just like the difference between the cost and the revenue. Like what's like just the difference between the cost and the revenue. How much did we spend? How much is did we get? Then is the difference is I don't know. That's what I know about profit margin.
Good, 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 good. Beautiful. That's a very beautiful answer. You are correct. You're correct. Okay, so profit margin in business, all right, it's a financial metric, all right, that shows the percentage of revenue that remains as profit, the percentage of the revenue that remains as profit after expenses have been deducted, your cost. And so if you come over, you can see operating margins. It's always in percentage. So this was calculated. This table came. This column came with the data set. It was calculated using the total profit divided by the revenue. All right. This is the individual for this just this row. To get this was calculated operating profit divided by your revenue. It will give you 0.3. So if you multiply it by 100, it will give you, I think, 30%. So this is just the formula is operating profit over total sales. What does this KPI do? Like I mentioned, it's a financial metric that shows the percentage of revenue, okay, that remains after the percentage of the revenue that remains after all the expenses have been deducted. What's the revenue? Your revenue is your sales. All right. So if I buy a face cap for um $50 and I sell it for $59, the revenue there is how much?
$59.
Sorry?
$59.
Why are you laughing? $59. Okay. That's the revenue. Okay. So what's the profit? 9, right? So now, so the percentage of the revenue that is your operating margin. It shows you how we are making profit. All right. It tells you whether you're making profit or not. So you can be making profit, but it's small. All right. So every business is there to make profit. So how do you calculate that now? This will be the final KPI. There's so many KPIs you can create, but I will just stick with this. Okay, so create the, we'll come over to our fact table. All right, click on new measure. So now is the total, is the sum of everything aggregated. So we'll call this our profit margin. All right, just trying to add fletch to the visualization we're creating. What am I saying? Project profit margin. Okay. So who can help me with the formula? Let's be quick. Anybody? Inspire, go ahead. Okay.
Okay, so I think it's the revenue minus the cost price over the revenue.
Revenue minus the cost price. Okay,
Uh,
over.
the revenue. Is it correct? I think so. Like the total revenue generated minus the total cost and the
Okay, hold
total
on. The
cost
total
price.
revenue, you can approach it severally. So the total revenue minus the cost price will give you what?
It will give us the selling price. The profit rather. The profit.
Well, after the profit. Okay, so there's that
Yeah.
formula is long. So we can just say profit. Okay.
Divided by the revenue.
Okay. You get now. All right. Okay. Is that all?
So yes, then we can now format it as a percentage when we get our final answer.
Beautiful.
Or you multiply by 1.
We multiply by 100. All right. So let's just do everything here. Multiply it by 100. Okay. So check this off. A profit margin. I'll bring this 36.9. Okay. It's different from this. Let's check. Let's check what I did here. Okay, I made a mistake here. Okay, no wonder. This will be my profit. So as a data analyst, you are a mathematician also, an artist. You are a business intelligent analyst. You wear multiple caps or multiple hats. Should return the same value. Okay. $276. What is going on? Let's check.
It's not in percentage. I think it's showing it in currency.
Sorry.
I think it was formatted to currency.
Okay, let's check it. It should be in currency. There's something wrong. Give me the same thing. This in general, okay? This total profit. Okay. Okay, okay, I think I see what's wrong. All right, we got this fixed. I have two measures, if you observe, two total revenue measures. Hmm. This shouldn't be total revenue. This should be revenue, I believe. No wonder, and you just be okay. So I have two revenues. One is an error. So let's use this should work. Okay. All right. So it's 36.9. So I could format this as all right. So this total revenue is wrong. Let me get rid of it. Delete from model. Yes. Oh. What did I just do? What was here before? Okay. I think it's a column chart. Is it do not chart? Total revenue. Okay. Get rid of this. No wonder it was giving me error. Okay, I think I've. All right, thank you. So the next thing we want to do is we've gotten this already. So we've created our important KPIs. Yeah, more KPIs, but these are very vital relative to the data set. Okay. So Inspire, please go ahead.
So I want to ask a question. Like I thought the profit margin is meant to be formatted as a percentage, since it is a percentage that is left in the revenue generated. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like instead of formatting it as a currency, it should be formatted as a percentage. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of confused.
Ask your question again, please.
What I'm asking is that I think this margin should be formatted as a percentage instead of a currency, since it is a profit margin, and the profit margin is like the profit rate. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Okay. Yes. I think yeah. Instead of leaving it as a
Currency, it
currency.
should be in percentage instead.
Okay, yeah, that's you are correct. You are correct. Um, let's format
General.
this because if you observe our table here, the operating margin, all right, is in percentage. If you multiply it by 100, it was not multiplied by 100, but if you multiply it by 100 to give you 30%, All right. So yes, you are correct. Thank you. All right. Before we proceed, have you started fixing? If I say fixing, have you started? What's the progress on the attendance?
The attendance is not drop. I think maybe because today's class is a makeup class, that maybe that's why the attendance was not drop.
All right. All right. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is, so we've created our KPIs, right? So we've gone past the first stage, right? So create a Power BI dashboard that helps us answer the following business question, include necessary KPIs. So as we progress, these KPIs will make a lot of sense. Business questions to answer, total sales by region, how many sales does each region generate? So all of these are just business questions, all right? I've explained them and I'll show us how to derive insights from them. Total cost and operating costs, sales turnover time, operating revenue, unit retail by region. So these are really um, key visuals that will enhance your insights. All right, so creating interactive dashboard overview page. This is what it should contain. So I'm gonna see, if you can see from this dashboard, at least we made use of some key uh, visuals that will tell a lot. You understand? So that will speak or be representative of the data set you are working with. You don't just throw visuals because you just want to make your dashboard, you know, appealing. It should communicate. Of the saying that less is more. All right. So I think because of time we have here, let me see what I can do in the next few minutes. All right. So let's go with total cost and profit by product using the stacked bar chart. All right. So remember one of the classes we had when I was walking us through drill downs, drill mode, drill throughs. All right. So I was showing how you compare both profit and margin. Your sorry, both profit and your cost. Right. So now if you look at the overview page, you say the main page should contain a total cost and profit by product using a bar chart. All right. So what does this visual really represent? So let's see what it does. I'm going to come over here, and remember your bar chart is used to visualize categorical data. All right, you can use your bar chart to visualize categorical data. You can use your stacked bar chart, your stacked column chart to visualize numeric data also. So the first thing we want to do is to understand what this visual is. All right, so we have the x-axis, we have the y-axis rather, we have the legend. All right, your x-axis can contain, I think this is the x-axis, then this is the y-axis, right? So your x-axis here can contain your categorical data. In this case, our product. Okay, so you have to understand the use of these visuals. Very important. You have to understand the use of this visual. It's very important. And the next thing I want to do is to gauge my profit to my cost, to compare it. Remember, I said 1,000 word is what a picture is, what 1,000 word, right? So I can drag this to my x-axis here, my y-axis. All right. So why is it on the y-axis? Because the y-axis can group your numeric data into, it can sum it up. So that's one of the characteristics of the y-axis for the bar chart. All right, for the bar chart. So this is my product category now. All right, men's footwear, women's footwear, and on the y-axis we have the total cost. So now, by mere looking at it, we can see how all of this contributes to our total cost. So that means we spent a lot of resources in the men's street footwear. That's the product that collected a lot of resources. And now moving forward, we will see how this impacts, because we'll see how this impacts on our profits. Yeah, so you can now, so these are questions. There are a lot of questions we could, ask here. If we have total cost, if men's street footwear is the category, the product category that accounted for the most cost, that means it should, equivalent, it should be equivalent to the total profit. Like, you spend more, you should get more. Do you understand what I'm saying? You spend more, you get more. All right. So now sometimes your data collected might negate that. So remember in the last class, I told us about correlation, that comparing two numeric data types, you get, is there a cause and effect? It's called, there's a word for it. I used it in the last class. Yes, correlation does not imply causation. So does it mean that if we spend more resources on just this category of product, does it mean we'll get more profit? So we spend more resources. So correlation does not imply causation. It refers that there's no a cause and effect. So you can't say because we spent more resources, it's a necessity, or it's written on stone that we must get more profit. Okay, so women's athletic footwear is the least product that has the least cost. All right, so when we begin to walk through the data, we will now see if there's really a correlation, and if there's a correlation between the cost and the profit. Okay, so that's just putting you in the right mind for this project. So if you can see, it says a total cost and profit by product bar chart. So this way you begin to draw insight. We've started the project already. All right, and since this our y-axis can accommodate numeric value, we can bring in our profit here. Right, so you see, so this visual alone is telling a story. Okay, it's giving us something to work with. So the blue legend represents total cost, while the dark blue represents the total profit. So we can gauge it. So are we making a 2x profit? Are we making 1x? What's the percentage profit in return? Okay, so look at it. So in the event where we have the profit, the segment of the profit is more than the segment of this of the total cost in this bar or in this column. So you can tell what that means. That means we made extra. All right, that's why I like using this stacked. That's why it's called stacked column chart. It's a bar chart anyway, stacked column chart. So you can put you can just see them, visually see them. Right? I could also put my revenue. Okay. And if you take a look at this visual here, you can see how I arranged it. There's a reason for this. I think I've mentioned it in the previous class. That, of course, cost in order of things is costs first before your revenue, and then your profit, because you subtract your total revenue, your cost from your revenue from your cost, and you get profit. Right? So it's just a way of making it orderly. So it's always a good way to visualize this like this. Okay, so you can just this is just like I said, Power BI is just a visualization tool. However, you can draw insights, so just to visualize it. So the next time we're working with a product or a visual, you should know what you are using it for. There are different use cases for this. So as you progress on in your journey as data analyst, you might not work with sales data, but well, it's generally seen. It's always good to start working with sales data. At least to give you a perspective. You might begin to work as an HR analyst. You can work on projects. You can work on project completion status. Recently, I was on a call with someone, and we're trying to work on I think a project status is a project data set. So we had less of numeric values. It was just categorical data. All right. And so I worked with the lady, and we were able to come up with something. So I'm just saying that all of these visuals, when you use them appropriately, it will drive informed decision. All right. So this is one use case for the visual. So with this, you can begin to analyze your data. Any question, please? Do you understand? Okay, next question. All right. So
Yes, sir.
all right. So it's left to so for me, I prefer to just see the cost, and because I already have other metrics that could help me gauge my revenue too. All right. I have retail revenue by retailer, and I'll show you all of this. Okay, it's an interactive dashboard. If I click on, so you can see total profit and year by quarter. Can come to my retailer to see how we are doing. So it's interactive. So we begin to understand all of this too. So I'm coming over here. So let me see what I can do in the next few minutes, so that I'll just end the call. It's already past the time. All right. So for this, we'll just visualize our total profit, our cost. So it's like energy in garbage in, garbage out. So what are we analyzing? And we get rid of the revenue to see how well. So all of these are just, it's simple, and it's simple, and so we have our total revenue. Okay, total cost and total profit by revenue. So later we'll put all of this together. Okay. So this is quantity sold by product. All right. So this is another visual using the bar chart also. So it's okay to have different visuals on your data set, on your visualization rather, provided you know what you are doing. All right. Important metrics, important things to be shown. All right. So we'll go over here. I could duplicate this, Control C, Control V. Right. We'll format all of this later. I just want to create some visuals and know we are done for the day. Hopefully tomorrow class we should be done so that we'll just do a bit of revision. So this is quantity. I want to see my total quantity by product. Right. So all I'm coming to do here is where is my unit sold? Okay. So this is sum of units sold, right? Let's just drop all of these visuals and we'll explain them tomorrow because of time. Let me see. Let me create one more. Okay, units sold by product chart, by product batch rather, revenue by sales using the donut chart. Okay, so I think this will be the last one. What was it again? Revenue by sales channel. Okay. So just drop some visuals. We'll explain more of this. Where is my my product table? No, retailer. Sales channel, right? Okay. This is should be here. Fact table revenue. All right, so I'll tell you why we're visualizing all of this. Right, keep things that are supposed to be on your visual. We'll format this tomorrow. I think let's call it a day here. I want to go past this now. All right, so far, any question, any concern, any contribution? You've done
From my
2 hours.
hand, sir. From my hand, no question for now.
All right, so we walked. So we see what we've done. We walked through from data modeling. For those of us that were not there from the beginning, so you can go over the video again and see how to model your data properly. All right. Okay. Any other concern? Any other thing? Okay, who's on the call again? Who have I not heard speak today? Taiwo, are you there? Let me hear your voice. Taiwo, I'm just Susan, Okoye, Loretta. You didn't speak today.
No, sir.
How are you? Have you been following?
Yeah, gradually. In the class, I'm also preparing for a test tomorrow.
Okay. All the best. Okoye,
Thank you, sir.
welcome. Are you there?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening. How is it going on your end?
I'm following, but I'll still go back to the video because network has not been very stable on my end.
Okay.
But sir, please, I have a little question. Though the question is not on what we are doing now, but is on visualization. Can you hear me?
The question is on visualization. Okay.
But not really on the projects we are doing now. Like I wanted to ask, there's this visualization that I used to see. You see bar charts and you see line charts on top of it. I don't know, how do they normally do it?
Okay, you get to see bar
How
charts and you
do you
get to
should do
see.
it? Line charts on top of the bar charts, like on top of it.
Okay, so I think that's a bar chart. I know what you're saying. So all of those things, they have what they represent. Okay, and maybe if I have time, I would maybe um what's the word now? I'll, I'm getting already. I'll maybe draft maybe a question that could answer that, so that we see
Oh,
what it represents.
okay. All right. So thank you, sir.
You understand now?
Yes, sir. I do.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Nice. All right. Susan, are you there? Let me hear your voice.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How is it going?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Okay, okay. I hope you are following.
Yes, sir.
All right, all right. Yes, Loretta.
So I wanted to ask this project that we are doing. What is the deadline for us? Like, by when are we supposed to be done with it for submission?
Okay, so I'm walking us through. I'm walking us through. I'm walking us through. I'm walking us through it together. Okay, I'm walking us through it together. So we'll work on it together, and maybe the other part of it would maybe you could just try your hands on it. But I just want to give us a what's the word now? A pedestal, something to like a jump start. All right. So that you see how it's done. So but I intend on finishing it tomorrow. By God's grace, I hope that's possible. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Uh,